Happy Tuesday. This is Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel, coming at you. Big week for Tennessee basketball. One of the biggest weeks in program history coming up right now. I don't subscribe to the theory that Friday's game's the biggest in program history because the two Elite Eights were bigger. But it is a big one. It is a big one. And, of course, what better way than to face your arch nemesis along the way for redemption along the way. Make sure you hit that like. If you will, share out the content. Greatly appreciate that. That helps the channel a lot. And if you have not, you like the content, hit that subscribe as well so you can get notifications for live shows, new content. Also, Tennessee, Kentucky is the third time the charm for Tennessee. Well, if you look back at the first two matchups here, really a couple things were the difference. The one, 3-point shooting. Kentucky, 12 out of 24 in both games. Kentucky from the field goals, 50% in both games. Tennessee, 11 out of 45 from three-point range in Knoxville, 3 out of 18 from three-point range in Rupp Arena. You take just shy of twice as many threes as Kentucky and Knoxville, and you hit one less. All right, well, that's only a 3-point difference. Free throw line, Kentucky got to the free throw line, hit 4 more free throws. In a 5-point game, those 4 free throws, that 1-3, there's your difference in the game. Tennessee won the rebounding battle both games. Tennessee had the first game 18 offensive rebounds. Couldn't do anything with it. Kentucky forced them out to shoot threes. Tennessee obliged and continued to fire them and continued along the way. One big thing that was a common denominator in both games, Chaz Lanier. Neither game. We know the magic number. It's 18 for Chaz. Chaz gets to 18. Tennessee's undefeated. And Knoxville, Chaz went for 15 points. In Rupp Arena, Chaz went for 10 points. Igor Milicic, both games. In Knoxville, 19-9. In Rupp, 16-9. Ziegler, both games, was double digits. Other than that, another big X factor to me, Jordan Gainey in Rupp Arena, 8 points. In Knoxville, 6 points. Jemai Mashak in Rupp Arena, 0 points. In Knoxville, 6 points. Now, with that said, Milicic's his production has dropped off significantly. But we've seen a big uptick in Jordan Gainey. And I think I know Tennessee's offense is more fluid now. They're running more 3 and even sometimes 4 guard sets along the way. How will that play against Kentucky? Kentucky's going to try to force them out, but I think a thing that's made a difference, though, is this team's getting to the basket more. Ziegler is driving to the basket more. Gainey is getting there more. Chaz is starting to a little bit more as well. He's going to have to work. He can't just be nonchalant, or he just can't be standing around waiting, because Kentucky's going to try to take him out of the game here. It's going to be big for him. We need him to at least get into 20 points or more in this game. If Ziegler, if Gainey, if Chaz Lanier get to at least 40, 45 points, this team's going to have a real good shot with it. Now, Kentucky in both games, they were just solid. They had numerous guys in double digits each game. The first game in Knoxville, their whole starting 5 was in double digits. They had 2 guys on the bench who scored 2 points? Let me go back here and pull that back up here a minute. No, it's 7 points. Trent Noah had 5. Brandon Garrison had 2. The rest of it was in your lineup. Now, one big difference is Jackson Robinson played Knoxville, 17 points. Unfortunately, he's out for the year. No matter who the team is or anything, I want to see teams healthy. I want to see everybody at their best with it. I hate that he's not able to play. And then, also, but in that matchup too, Kentucky's point guard, Lamont Butler, did not play. He did play at Rupp. And, of course, there's been video days, some Tennessee fans getting upset because he said, we're going to win. I saw nothing wrong with it. There was nothing malicious. There was nothing disrespectful. He was responding to a question, talking about their journey there, how SEC's a grind, how I can't remember the exact wording, but how they've stuck together, and that's why we're going to win. It's nothing I wouldn't expect Tennessee or any other team to say about win the game. He didn't guarantee win. He didn't disrespect anybody. So I am going to take up for him on that one. I mean, if people want to make it bulletin board material, so be it. But that's pretty weak if you're using that for bulletin board material. Of course, they're going to want to come out and win. Of course, they're expecting to win this game. If you're Tennessee, if you're not going in expecting to win, I don't care what happened the first two meetings. If you're not going in expecting to, we've got some issues there as well. So I'll look at this third matchup. What's going to be different with it? Tennessee's offense is playing better than it has. And here's something I'll look at. Kentucky shot 50% in both games from three-point range. The second game was most definitely the difference. 12 out of 24 versus 3 out of 18. That's a 27-point difference. That's hard to overcome. And Tennessee lost by 11. Not hard to figure what the difference in that game was. The first one, Kentucky got to the free throw line more. They were more efficient with their shooting in that game as well. And I mean, Kentucky was out rebounded. They had more turnovers in the first game, but Tennessee shooting was very poor in that game. Chaz has got to have his game this time. Your trio of Felix Okpara, Igor Milicic, Cade Phillips, they've got to do their thing on the boards. They've got to add a little bit of scoring. Don't get me wrong on that. But they don't have to go for 10, 15, 20 points by any means. Since the second Kentucky game, really Vanderbilt is the only team who's come close to shooting the three as well against Tennessee as Kentucky. Vanderbilt was in the 40s both games. Wofford was about 40, right around 42%, maybe a little bit more. Other than that, every game since Kentucky, Vanderbilt was around 40. Even Florida, all three matchups. Even when Florida beat Tennessee by 30, they only shot like 30, right around 30% from three-point range. Knoxville was even worse. They were awful that day in it. And then even in the SEC tournament championship, Florida only shot 33% from three-point range. And looking through it, Missouri shot decent, the three-point, but that's been a minute. That's been a minute since those games. Since then, you get to the end of the year. Even the Ole Miss loss. Ole Miss was like 30-some% from three-point range. Alabama pretty much, that one, I still don't see how Alabama didn't win that game. Bama was 37.5%. If you can keep Kentucky 40 or close to it, you're going to have a real good shot in this game. You can't just let them drive and kick and guys, go to the dude going down the lane and leave somebody wide open. Now, Kentucky hit some tough shots, though, too, in both games. I remember specifically at the end, it was a close game, and Brea hit a big shot with, I think it was Milicic right on him. They hit some shots. They weren't just open the whole time, but Tennessee missed some open shots, too. Control the boards just as you have the first two games. That'll be a good start with it. But it's going to come down to you've got to limit their effectiveness from three-point range. Again, if they're going 50% and then you try to match them, you're going to the house. That's the bottom line. But part of it's got to come down to also pride. Meshack, Ziegler specifically, they've been here the whole time. You don't want your career in against Kentucky. You just don't want that to happen. And Tennessee can't just sit out and settle for the threes all night. I don't care if even like against Florida in the SEC tournament championship, you hit your first two, and then they just shot nothing but threes for like the first 5 minutes. When they made their run against Florida in that game, they started getting to the rim, started creating fouls, started making things happen. You're going to have to do this from the get-go against Kentucky, and I'm curious to see, do they implement some of that full-court press, some of that trap that they did against UCLA that I thought changed the game the other night, and they never looked back from as well. They shot very well against UCLA. They've been shooting better from three-point range lately. You don't have to be 50%. 35, 40% I think is good enough. Doing your thing around the rim as well. There's definitely a path. I don't necessarily think it's a mismatch. I just think it's a case of Kentucky shot better in both games. That's the bottom line. They are a very good offensive team. They're one of the best offensive teams in college basketball. What are you going to do this time to keep it from? Guys have got to stay home with it. I don't know if you go zone. I don't know if you go man-to-man or what you do on it. But if they go to drive, that's where you got to rely on Felix Okpara, Igor Milicic, Cade Phillips to be able to command that paint. Your other guys have got to stay home. They've got to stay home because if you leave Kentucky open, they can wear you out on it. There's definitely a path to win this game, though. There's definitely a path. Some things have to happen. Chaz has got to work. Chaz is going to have to work harder than he's probably ever worked in a game to do his thing, and he can do it. He's playing really good ball right now. Gainey, we need the Gainey that we've been getting for a while to come do his thing because he was not a big factor in either matchup earlier in the season. That's your key. Let Ziegler cook. Let Gainey cook. Let Chaz cook. Your other guys, a Meshack, he's got to be able to hit some shots if they leave him open, just like against UCLA twice in the second half. Threw it to him. He was ready. He looked confident, looked good shooting it, and he knocked him down. We're going to need him to hit some shots because Kentucky's going to be happy to let him do it. And he needs to be happy to take them and make them pay for it as well. I'm not making any predictions on this, but I'll stick to it. I wanted this matchup. I wanted this specific matchup. I loved it when we were put with Kentucky. Yes, I know Kentucky beat Tennessee both times. I know Kentucky can beat Tennessee a third time. But again, if you're going to get over that hump, you're going to get to your first ever Final Four, you've got to go through your arch nemesis, in my opinion. And it's, if you don't, so be it. So be it. That's just the way I feel about it. I want to have to go through Kentucky because that's your big rival in basketball. And if you're ever going to get there, normally you have to go through your big rival or a big nemesis. Ironically enough, I don't know that we would see both of them in the event that it happens. You could see Kentucky and Purdue, two major nemesis, two thorns in this program's side. That would be pretty poetic if you got to a Final Four by doing that. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. It's going to be fun. 7:39 Friday night. I'll be live with you after that one, win or lose. But I know what I'm going in expecting with it. I'm totally expecting Tennessee's going to get their revenge on Friday. These teams have met 3 times in a season, multiple times since Barnes has been Tennessee's coach. Neither team has won all 3 matchups in the same season. We'll see if things hold true this Friday night. Make sure you hit the like, the share, the subscribe. If you want to check out some portal content the last 2 days, I've had a couple different portal videos. Tennessee's got a lot they need in the portal. Names are going to pop up. They may be in on a guy one day and not on the next. A team may not be involved with the guy one day and they're involved the next. We know how fluid this stuff is. It is changing all the time with targets and stuff. But make sure you check out in the description the link for the channel memberships, the channel Patreon, or if you just want to say thanks, that super thanks in the bottom right-hand corner. Greatly appreciated there as well. Have a great Tuesday. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports channel. Last but not least, go Vols.